Well, I was not intending to record a video today. But then I came home, opened up YouTube, as I am wont to do, and I found this. Oh boy! The Journey to Ungoro announcement video. I have watched the first couple of seconds of it, about 20 seconds, and decided I think it's about time I did a react video. Be one of those people. So, let's begin. I'm already very excited. I was very excited when I first saw it. Here is the ever-present Ben Brode.
Well met. My name
Well
is Ben
met.
Brode. And I'm Jason Chase. Thanks to all of you
Clearly not
for joining
scripted.
us here tonight. Ben, we're finding ourselves in strange surroundings.
Jason's fine acting
A
skills.
different locale than I'm used to. It is, and we're both in our flannel. That's only odd for one of us. And this is for a very special occasion. We have something that we just unearthed that we'd like to
Very
share
excited.
with you right now.
Ah, seeing those cards, I'm already itching to find out what it is.
We're almost there. Quiet down, everyone.
I think I should probably play League of Explorers in anticipation for this.
Any of our previous expeditions.
Dinosaurs.
Will be far more ambitious. We're stepping into a land of primordial wonder.
Oh, that'll be the tar monster things and the elementals.
Elemental energies.
Cool. So it's about up to this point I've seen.
Life here holds very
More Murlocs.
unusual properties.
More Murlocs would be cool.
So don't
Okay.
anything.
Interesting.
And while you may be excited to see the local fauna,
Yes, very. Very.
you want to make sure they don't see you.
No. I was gonna say, is that King Crush, but it's not.
Adaptation are
Ooh.
devastating.
Oh. I wonder.
Make no mistake, we will be tested at every turn. But stay on our guard. We might just survive. Now then, are you ready?
Yes.
Then let's journey into Ungoro Crater.
Oh, that's cool. This is very cool. I really like the art style they take with these videos. I really like it. That's a devil saw. See, I know some things. Okay.
My gosh, Chase. That was
Oh my gosh, Ben.
Hearthstone's newest expansion is Journey to Ungoro. Ungoro, as it turns out, is a pretty amazing place. It's a place of wonders,
Journey.
but also a place of great danger.
Jason's fantastic acting yet again.
Before I came out here. Oh, you got your axe. I do have my axe. You're prepared.
And my axe.
As all of you come to join us in Ungoro, one of the things you can expect to see is dangerous plant life shooting quills at you.
I wondered
Amazing
when I
sort
saw
of
the
elemental powers.
trailer.
In fact, you'll see a volcano at the very heart of Ungoro. So let's
Volcano.
show you the very first cards from Journey to Ungoro. The Volcano
New card.
spell.
Ooh.
Volcano is a shaman spell. It deals 15 damage. One at a time.
Jeez.
It's incredible as it showers down meteors upon your opponent. And Volcano
That would be very interesting. Oh, okay.
You want to be sure you're playing Volcano when you want to do maximum damage across the whole board. There's all kinds of elementals.
No hero damage though. Interesting.
Now, I know what you're thinking.
Could be a big swing play card.
I've already seen elementals. I've seen my fire elementals, my rock elementals, but these are different. You might see, for example, a giant tar elemental erupt out of a pit in front of you.
Tar elemental.
The new mage legendary minion, Pirus. Pirus is a 2-mana 2/2
Ooh.
to begin with. When it dies, it comes back to your hand.
Oh.
It's a 6-mana 6/6. And if you play it again and it dies again, it'll come back
Oh.
as a 10/10. So it's almost like it keeps resurrecting.
That's
over
very
and over again.
cool.
It's a lot like that. Elementals is a brand new minion type in Journey to Ungoro.
Oh.
You see many different types of elementals, and we're going to change some of the minions from sets you already have seen.
Ah.
Elementals. So as it turns
Very
out,
interesting.
Elementals is just the beginning of the creatures that wait for you.
New
in
card
Ungoro.
type.
What would Ungoro and a primordial world like this be like without the dinosaurs? Dinosaurs are everywhere in Ungoro Crater,
but they've soaked up a lot
So
of
dumb.
primal energy in Ungoro Crater, and they've begun to adapt.
Imagine a dinosaur that has now picked up the power of the elements around it for even greater effect.
Check
Okay.
out this new card, Verdant Longneck.
So adapt is the new keyword.
Adapt?
With the journey to Ungoro. With adapt, you'll be given the choice to pick from one of 3 different powers to upgrade your minion.
Yeah, you never
Okay.
know what adaptation
So sort of
will
like
be
Druid with the
available
Claw,
to
but with
you,
3
But
options.
you might see something like Flaming Claws, which
Yeah.
is a dinosaur +3.
Okay. Oh no, that's interesting.
Or if you're imagining your
10.
Longneck wasn't big enough,
Ah.
upgraded with the massive adaptation, giving it the ability to taunt.
Or Lightning Speed, giving it Wind Fury.
So there'll be dinosaurs.
That is
galore
very
waiting for you
cool.
in Ungoro, on top of the elementals and on top of the very dangerous flora. You might be asking yourself,
Very
why
cool.
would I go to Ungoro with all these dangers waiting for me?
I've been asking myself that all night, but I think I know why.
Why don't you tell us?
There are secrets hidden in Ungoro Crater, and in fact, Elise Starseeker and her junior explorers are out in Ungoro Crater tracking them down right now.
In fact, there's only one.
Does that mean
reason I
Elise
can
is
think
going to
of
be in
why they
the
might be
Ngoro
out on this adventure,
section?
And that's they're pursuing a quest.
There's a brand new type of card in Journey to Ungoro, and that
Oh.
is the Quest card.
Why don't we take a look at the first quest card? Awaken the Makers. Make no mistake, quests are incredibly difficult to complete. Imagine having to summon 7 different death rattle minions in the one game.
Quests cost 1 mana. They start in your opening hand, and when you play them, you'll see
There's
them
spell as
appear while
well?
secrets normally appear.
But these are a little different than normal secrets in that your opponent will be able to see the quests as well. And that's because the treasures and potential things waiting for you at the end of the quests are so powerful that it's something that your opponent will have visibility into as well.
When you complete the quest, you get an incredible reward. Check out Amara, Warden of Hope. Set your hero to 40 health. This card is crazy.
Jesus.
To some of the most powerful cards.
It is a good thing Bran isn't going to stick. No, not Bran. Reno.
Journey to Ungoro has
It's a good thing Reno's not sticking around.
exciting new cards.
Wild will be
And we're
insane.
going to continue to show more of them starting on March 17th.
Ooh.
Now, don't forget,
Oh, a bit of a while to
Journey
wait.
to Ungoro will also kick off the next standard year for Hearthstone as we begin the Year of the Mammoth. We're in the final preparations now, and we're excited to join all of you. When the
I think I would have
Journey to
preferred
Ungoro
like
launches
Year of the Dinosaur or
in
something,
early
but Mammoth is cool.
April. Hear something?
Oh, that looks good. That looks good.
I want to pitch you this idea. What if we do an expansion made entirely of wisps?
Oh, my dudes. Oh. Wow. Lots to think about. Lots to think about. So, what things did they cover? Let's try and do them in order. So, before the elementals, they talked about. What did they talk about? I'm just going to flick through the video again, see what sort of things they talked about. Okay, so yes, the Volcano spell. Okay, what are we thinking? 15 damage to minions. Oh, it'd be a good swing card, is what I thought. I can imagine opponents just cleared your deck, your side of the field. They might have massive taunts, something happening. You might have something maybe with a death rattle you want to set off. Could be interesting. Nations, what would that work well with? Something that costs less than 5 that's good after you clear it. So if we could use that, then a taunt. If you've got a death rattle, you could potentially set up a board with Nzoth, pull up all your death rattle minions, and kill them off again with that. If you really wanted to do something like that, that would probably work well for you. I'm going to make that point a little bit later on. I'm going to keep that to myself. So that could be a very interesting card. Overload 2, so it costs you 7 overall. Next turn, you could end up with 3 if you play it the turn 4 even. If you play it on turn 5, you could end up with 8 if you play it anytime after turn 10. Interesting. I'd be interested to see what other sorts of cards they have along those lines as well. So that's quite a bit different to any cards that are available at the moment. What was the next thing? I think the next thing was the Elementals and Pirus, the legendary card. Now, that does sound very interesting. Pirus, I was getting a sort of callback to the Jade Golems type of thing where, you know, each summon increases in health. Similar with this. Starts off as 2 cost 2/2. If it dies, comes back into your hand, 6 cost 6/6. Do it again, 10 cost 10/10. That could be very cool. What cards could that work well with? I'm imagining maybe having. I don't know. Could have a number of things. The one good thing about it probably be that sapping, if you were up against it, to sap that 10 cost, or rather even to sap it at any cost, shouldn't set it up again. So it wouldn't, if you sap the 2/2, it wouldn't then become the 6/6 version. I would hope anyway. But what it might do, no, it probably wouldn't reset it. So if you sap the 6/6, it wouldn't become the 2/2 in your hand again. Again, I wouldn't think. We'll have to wait and find out, but that'd be interesting to see. But I'd imagine it just returns it to your hand. Sap would just return it to whatever power it's at the minute, and the effect continues. Silencing it probably be good. You had something like a Iron Beak Owl. I hope that's the name, and then I'm not getting such a common card wrong. To summon it, to silence it early on would be a very smart move. I'm thinking for that one. Next thing, the beasts and the new dinosaurs. Now they are coming out as beasts. They're not changing them to dinosaurs, which I was a bit worried about when they, not worried, but when they mentioned introducing the new elemental type. I had a sort of thought that they might have all these dinosaurs come out as a dinosaur type. But I think introducing 2 new types at the same time, they probably thought would be too much of a change to the way the game's played. That being said, there are a lot of new mechanics they're introducing with this. A lot of very interesting mechanics, a lot of different ones, so people who haven't played in a while might have some catching up to do when they come back to it. But in any case, the Adapt ability, that is very interesting. 10 new options to choose from. They've shown us 6, so what have we got? Can't be targeted by spells or hero powers, +3 attack or divine shield. Interesting, very interesting. Almost a callback to the Kazakus sort of system. You sort of choose whatever cards, but also kind of along the lines of Druid of the Claw and these sorts of transform minions. Very interesting idea. The next things we've got summon 2 1/1 plants as a death rattle. Now I wonder if that would count towards the death rattle quest that they told us. Again, I'll come on to that when I talked about the quests. Taunt and Wind Fury. That's 6. What other 4 could they do? Probably a charge one. Maybe a spell damage? Bonus spell damage? I wouldn't see why not. But don't know. There's quite a few things they could do. Maybe I don't know. It's very interesting. Quite excited to find out about that. And I wonder if all the dinosaurs will have that, and they'll all just have different healths and attacks and stuff. Possibly even having one that's a charge, and you choose something like this. So a charge and a Wind Fury might be pretty good. I don't know. Interesting. But I'm really excited to see more dinosaurs. Really excited. Probably saw me giddying away when they showed it. And now the big one. The big difference. I think this is probably going to be a huge change in how people play. Certainly with a lot of the Miracle decks at the minute, you're looking for that one card to play at the right time to get your game plan. Quest cards would well, they're in your starting hand anyway. They probably come instead of a card in your initial draw, I would imagine, unless you're going to start getting 4 and 5 cards in your first draw, which again might be cool. A quest in your usual hand. Interesting. I would imagine it's probably instead, and you probably choose it, putting your decks in. That would make the most sense to me. It's instead of a card, play it from your initial hand. Your opponent can see what you have to do. So, I'm not sure. And there's not a lot that your opponent can do to stop you summoning them, because it only says summon. So even if they had something like I forget the name of the secret that destroys a minion or deals damage to it when it's summoned. It's still, yeah, it still counts as a summon, so it still count towards that, I would assume. And you get a big reward. So they showed Amara. Set your health to 40, and it's an 8/8 taunt. Wow, that's a big game change. So yeah, you will just have to hope that you pull all those death rattles that you need. But I made a brief mention earlier, and I'm going to come back to it with Unzoth, which resummons all your death rattle minions that died already. That could be a very, very big swing turn to have that quest going. Already summon a few, even if you only had 4 or 5 in the deck. Summon Unzoth, pulls them all back out, and you get the quest. You're awarded that, so that would go to your hand. That wouldn't go into straight onto the field, because that would be pretty devastating. So let's think. You could have a turn 10 or some sort of way to play it earlier to play in Zoth. Pulls your death rattles out. Your opponent has a turn. You play an 8/8 taunt. Resets your health to 40, and you got 5 more mana to play with. That sounds pretty brutal. That's probably something I'd look at setting up. I don't have Zoth yet. I've mentioned in some. Have I mentioned in some other videos? I've probably mentioned somewhere, or I will be mentioning it at some point. My card collection is not the best. I've only got Cthulhu of the Old Gods. I do kind of want to play with this Ishaj and Zoth, but meh, I don't have them at the minute. I might eventually get around to. I've not got a lot of dust to craft with, but maybe with. I'm hoping they do, and they didn't announce it, but I'm hoping they eventually announce a that sort of promotion with however much it was to get the 40 packs. I don't see why they wouldn't. I'm probably going to do that for this one. I wouldn't normally have. I didn't do it for Old Gods. I've not done it for anything yet. I've only bought the welcome pack. But I probably would do that for this one, because there's a lot of interesting cards. It's a big change to how the game's played, so you're going to want a lot of these cards to come up against them in the meta. Playing against some of these new sorts of systems is going to be quite hard, I think, with decks that are already, or to only play with cards that don't include any of these. I think it might be kind of hard to come up against. I mean, resetting your health to 40, that's even stronger than Reno. Reno is already a pretty heavy card to come up against if you hadn't planned around playing that. You know, if you don't have a very strong late game in your deck, if you're Pirate Warrior or something with a pretty weak late game, basically my Pirate Warrior has no late game, so anything that resets the game later on does me over. So setting the game, try again, an 8/8 taunt and setting your health to 40. Yeah, that's going to be pretty heavy to come up against. You could probably combat that with a pretty strong, pretty buffed up Cthulhu. Probably having to include, I forget the name of the card again. Whichever one resurrects it, so you can play it twice. But again, you're going to need a strong late game. Your response to that is probably going to have to be having that same quest and getting Amara. Now, the other idea I had, they mentioned quests, S, plural. Other quests, probably other card rewards, or they reward you the same card. I also can't imagine there are going to be too many quests to choose from, because that would be pretty complex to try and... Well, I say it would be complex to try and build against, and it would, but they'd all be fairly late game changes. And I think there has been talk of them wanting to get away from the system where you have certain cards that everyone includes. They want, I saw someone mention, I think it was the Hearthstone, they want to make it more of a rock paper scissors style game, to simplify it a bit, where you have some decks good against some, very weak against others, which would be a really nice balance to have, rather than having 3 or 4 strong deck types that then everyone starts running and you're just trying to outpace the next person, because those are the strongest decks, and if you try and play something a bit more experimental, you're probably not going to do well. Not a problem I face down in the wells of rank 20. You see a lot of weird decks and weird combinations, and valiant attempts at good decks sometimes work a lot better than others. I've seen some pretty strong decks down at rank 20. I assume they were just making their way back up. But the quest system, yes. What other quests could you have? Summon a number of taunts could be interesting. Probably, imagine you get awarded a pretty strong taunt, but then a 5-cost 8/8. Wow. What else could you have? Summon a number of taunts, summon a number of charges. Probably something along the lines of summon some elementals, and you probably get given a pretty strong elemental. I would imagine that would be something pretty cool. Maybe something that resummons your elemental minions. That could be pretty good. What else? Beasts. Something along the lines of beasts. Summon a number of beasts and you get something. Again, maybe resummon your beasts. That could be pretty strong. Can't imagine just a strong beast would be in keeping with the kind of beast type. I don't know. Maybe. I think that was it, wasn't it? They talked about quests. They talked about things. The Year of the Mammoth. The Year of the Mammoth starting. Cool. Not much to say about that. I think I mentioned during the clip. I probably would have enjoyed more Year of the Dinosaur, but that's me being a dinosaur nerd. Year of the Mammoth is still pretty cool. And yeah, so a very exciting announcement video. The cinematic trailer is around as well, but I'm guessing that's what we saw in there anyway. So, I'm interested to hear other people's thoughts. I'm probably going to see a few videos popping up around, but when I saw this, I figured I might as well do a quick video to react to it as well. Hope you guys enjoyed. If there's anything I got wrong, I can imagine I've made some pretty glaring errors. I've certainly forgotten a few card names. Like I say, I don't claim to be an expert, just a distinctly average player. Distinctly average describes me in a lot of ways. But yes, I think it's going to be very exciting. It's going to change a lot of the way things are played. We're already having a lot of cards go into the wild and having evidently a lot of cards being brought in. There's going to be some big changes. I think it's going to be good. It's going to be nice to change up the style of play. I mean, I mentioned before I started playing the adventures that just playing ladder match after ladder match was getting a bit boring because we see a lot of the same cards. You don't tend, well, I didn't tend to change my decks too much unless I had a particularly interesting card appear, or if I had an idea or saw a particular deck list. So I played a lot of the same decks. I came up against a lot of the same decks, and sometimes I'd win and feel good. Sometimes I'd lose and feel crappy. And I'd usually end up around rank 20 and quitting out after a couple games. But who knows? I think it's all very interesting, very exciting, and certainly it's going to be doing a lot for my love of dinosaurs. Until next time, or until more news comes out, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. See you later.